Hey Capricorn, welcome to your weekly forecast for October 3rd through the 9th. This is for Capricorn Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to connect and see what messages are coming up for the Capricorn Collective. You might see this video in a few weeks or months. That's just fine. You're going to see it whenever you're meant to hear the message. Keep in mind it's a general reading for the collective. Therefore, not every single message is going to resonate. And that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. So without further ado, my dears and my darlings, let's see what we have coming up here for our Capricorn friends. And we're going to move the camera just a little closer. And the first card coming up here is the Wheel. This is a big energy. This is a major arcana card. So the major arcana cards are going to come up anytime that this is a significant new chapter, a defining time, a defining period, a defining moment in our life. So this is an energy that's going to wrap up in 7 days. It's just beginning, right? The next 7 days is like just the beginning of this energy. And the Wheel is about getting unstuck, moving on, moving forward, the ebbs and flows of life, going through the cycles. So now you're coming into a new cycle. Now you're coming into a new time. Okay, the sun there is really jumping out at me, and that's making me think of Archangel Uriel. So I feel like a lot of you have Archangel Uriel around you right now, helping you, pushing you forward into a more victorious time, a more abundant time, a time in which you're going to be seen and appreciated. And I feel specifically what's shifting here for Capricorn, attention has been negative for you, for a lot of you, in that like the only attention you ever really get is when something goes wrong or when you made a mistake, right? But now it's like flipping, and now you're getting attention for your accomplishments, your merits, your abilities, your gifts, you know, the things that you're doing well. So I feel like there's a shift here. There's like a shift of standing out. And some of you have been so driven of trying to change this cycle, but it's just seemed that no matter what you do or how hard you push, or like you try to be noticed and you try to do things right, it's like, man, I made another mistake, and now they're putting that mistake in my face. So I feel like this is a time where it's changing, and attention will be positive rather than negative. And the things that you've been working on or trying to make happen are beginning to happen. I do feel that some of you will find out in a work or professional situation, somebody has been trying to kind of hide you. Like, um, like they don't want people to know what you're doing, or, you know, that you did something. Maybe they took credit for it. Maybe they said that they did it when they were talking to people higher up. So this would be somebody higher up than you, right? And so it's like, oh, this is excellent. Who did this? I did it. It was me, right? And so they don't talk about you. They don't say that. Like for some of you, there are people in the higher up levels that don't even know that you work there, because this person is so intimidated by you that they just pretend that they do the stuff that you do. I feel something is going to happen though, where like somebody's going to figure out, like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. This isn't in your scope of work. When are you finding time to do this kind of stuff? And it's just going to unravel, and you're going to be revealed. Like this person's not going to be able to hide you anymore. So I feel a sense of like being seen or being introduced, or getting credit finally, getting credit where credit is due, and coming into new cycles. The next card that's coming up here for you all is the Two of Swords. Now, some of you know it's time to move forward and to embrace these new opportunities, but there's this fear. And this fear is like, well, but I don't know. It's a fear of the unknown. Maybe I'll just wait it out. Maybe I should just stay here. Maybe I shouldn't change things up so much. You have a major arcana card here. Major arcana card is saying it's time for change. This is on your divine schedule. And Two of Swords, some of you have heard me say, a lot of the times in my readings it comes up as a warning. And the warning is that you're being shown the writing on the wall. You're being given messages of what needs to be done and like what needs to be changed. But Two of Swords is like you may be procrastinating and you may be scared to do it. And so you're not taking steps. And so for me, the Two of Swords is like, look, we're going to wait as long as we can. But if you don't do it, and we come into where we're running out of time and you're going to miss your opportunities, you're going to miss what's meant for you, we can't let you miss what's meant for you. We got to keep you on schedule. So we're waiting as long as we can wait. But if we see you're not moving by the deadline, we have to come in and we have to get you going. We got to get you moving. We got to push you off the diving board. And so there's a sense here of like a tower moment coming in. So if you don't accept this opportunity, you're going to have to leave this other thing anyway, right? If it's a job situation, it might go out of business. They may be doing layoffs. And you're like, oh man, I should have just taken that other opportunity when it was here. Don't let that happen. Or if it could be a falling out with somebody. You keep giving this person the benefit of the doubt. You keep being patient. You keep thinking that they're going to change. And then they go and they do something really stupid. And there's a tower moment. Don't wait for the tower moment. I also feel here that the full moon on October 9th is going to be really intense for some of you Capricorns, where you're going to have this massive releasing of fear, like a massive releasing of fear. And for some of you, it might feel like anxiety increasing, anxiety building up. You may feel like you're more fearful, or like things are scaring you, or you're thinking about your fears. And this is coming to the surface because you're releasing it. I feel it's going to be a powerful release. So I would say definitely be sure to cleanse, smudge, sage your environment around this time and after the release as well, just to kind of clear the air, clear the atmosphere, because I feel like this is going to be really potent energy that's being released. It might be a good idea to do like a spiritual bath if you haven't done one in a while. But I feel like you're releasing fear, you're getting it out of your system. And some of you have been wishing for that. Like, I wish I could be more brave. I wish I could be more courageous. I wish I could be like this person or that person. Well, your wish is being granted. But first, there's a lot of fear that's going to be released. And I feel like it's happening with this October 9th full moon. And look at this. 10 of Cups. So 10 of Cups oftentimes gets typecast as marriage and babies. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of you may be manifesting marriage and babies. Some of you may be coming into a new time and a new cycle where your current, marriage and kids and stuff, like there's going to be more peace and more harmony in the home as you're moving on and making these changes. Or you may be manifesting, marriage and family. But 10 of Cups, the real meaning of 10 of Cups is fulfillment, contentment, and peace and happiness in every aspect of your life, every area of your life, and a sense of inner peace and fulfillment. And so it's happily ever after. And whatever your happily ever after is, it's going to be different for different ones of us. Some of you already did marriage and babies. And you're like, okay, well, what's next? What's the next phase? What's the next cycle? What's my happily ever after gonna be? The babies are grown and had their own babies, and they're off doing their own thing. What's ahead for me? And so whatever you've been thinking about, or whatever is you're trying to manifest here, this 10 of Cups is you're coming into your happily ever after. It's gonna be different for different ones of us. Okay, we don't all have the same happily ever after. I do feel here that with the 10 of Cups, something is happening where some of you are going to be around children more, right? So maybe your friends are having kids, or you're starting to make friends that have children, or maybe work is having you do things where you're going to be around kids. And this is not by accident. This is by divine design. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot in terms of being around kids, to open up the heart chakra and to awaken your creativity. I feel like some of you Capricorns, even if you think you're creative, even if you're in a creative field, you have no idea how creative you are. No idea. Okay? Because that really wasn't fostered in you, that really wasn't nurtured in you. And you have no idea how deep and how vivid and how magical the creativity you have is, and how deep it runs. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of inner child work, and this is scaring some of you Capricorns, because in the past your inner child work has been very painful, and that you've remembered memories, humiliations, or losses that you experience. So you hear inner child work and you cringe. However, a lot of you Capricorns would escape into this really magical place. And that's how you got through a difficult childhood. And so as you're doing the inner child work, your inner child is taking you back into the world you used to go in. Like, hey, remember this, and we, all of the things that you imagined as a kid, this imaginary world. And so some of you you've forgotten it, you've been so disconnected from it for so long, but as this inner child work is coming up, you're going back into that imagination world from your childhood, instead of you taking the inner child and trying to comfort it and nurture it and soothe it and heal it. Your inner child is saying, hey, grown up me, you need a pick me up, let's go back to our happy place. And so your inner child is kind of in control in this way, and you're like, oh, I forgot about this. And so I feel like for a lot of you it's healing, and it's giving you a lot of inspiration of what you're wanting to do with the rest of your life, what you're wanting to do with your time here. And some of you are going to create beautiful works of art, or stories, series, right? Like the next, I don't know, Twilight or Harry Potter, or the next big thing, or the next big comic book, or kids, kids saga, kids uh, uh, series or something. So it feels like very powerful energy, but also a sense of like inner peace. I feel with the Ten of Cups also like more contentment and more satisfaction in your home environment. So if there's been something about where you're living that's been bugging you, it's gonna be resolved. Like there's some solution. You're saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe, like, maybe there's a difficult neighbor that's moving away. Maybe I know there's another scenario that came up in my mind, but I'm not gonna say it because it might like upset some people, and I don't want to upset anybody. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. But there may be certain things that are really, really bugging you, that are like taking the peace away from where you're living, and that's gonna be resolved on its own. Next card here for Capricorn is the Two of Wands: choices, decisions, and partnerships. I feel that this is an offer coming your way, right? And so Two of Wands reminds us, don't forget to negotiate. Don't forget to do your research here. Okay, what does this go for? What can I ask for? What are the expectations? Let's define the terms. When you say this, what do you mean by this? Right? So make sure you're on the same page. Don't assume that you guys have the same definition for things. Make sure that you go into details. Make sure that you clarify and define as you're going along. But I feel here that this is some kind of an offer and some kind of new partnership that you're stepping into. So it's exciting energy. This is all new stuff. You're gonna release the fear that's getting in the way, and oh gosh, once that's out of the way, the sky is the limit here, my dears. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign. Some weeks your moon sign and rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign. If you would like to schedule a private reading with me, there's a link that takes you to the scheduling page. At the time I'm posting this video, I am having a sale. Usually the 60-minute video readings are $150. Right now I'm doing them for $111. And the 30-minute video readings are usually $65. Right now I'm doing them for $44. So you may want to check that out. Don't forget to watch the love readings for October if you haven't already, linked in the description. And come back and check out the card of the day, the daily message. If not, if that's not your cup of tea, no worries. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I hope you'll come back and check out next week's forecast. Take care and be well, my dears.